Hello and welcome to your full moon video for the 8th of October 2014. And this full moon is also a lunar eclipse, and it forms part of something called a Grand Trine. If you want more information on that, I'm not going to go too into depth on that. We're going to touch on the moon in this particular video. If you want more information on the Grand Trine, you can watch the weekly video forecast, which is also available on my channel. But let's touch on this full moon energy, this lunar eclipse energy, which happens in Aries and in the nakshatra of Revati. We need to talk about Revati a little bit. Let's talk about the mythology that's associated with Revati, because it'll give you a good understanding of what it's all about. In Vedic mythology, Revati is the lunar mansion or the birth star under which Saturn is born. If you know your astrology, Saturn rules over time and duration. So that's one quality that's related to Revati. In addition, there's always a deity that's associated with every single lunar mansion. In the case of Revati, that's Pusham. And Pusham is the aspect of the sun that measures out time. Basically, Revati is considered a sattvic nakshatra. And what sattvic means is balanced, more of a balanced state, okay? And its purpose is for liberation, to free one of one cycle of their life and carry one into another cycle. Most deeply put, Revati relates to what is known as the Great Womb, in which the sun incubates in between the night and the dawn. So there we have it symbolically. What it's about is the end of one phase and the beginning of another. And that's what this lunar eclipse energy is really all about. Duration, in some instances having to wait, although a lot's beginning to move for a lot of you already. But if it's beginning to move right now, just wait over the next couple of weeks, because it's going to begin to move even more, because the solar eclipse will be in Swati. But we'll touch on that in a couple of weeks. But that's wanting to break free of the boundaries, right? So that's happening. There's a little bit of a period of having to shake off the cocoon for the next couple of weeks. But not too deep and not too difficult. What's important to understand about this full moon energy is it's also coinciding with a T-square that's going on between Venus, Pluto, and Uranus. Uranus is also in Revati, right? Pluto's in Purva, Ashadha. Pluto in Purva, Ashadha relates to being real, being authentic, being who you truly are. Venus in Hasta. Well, let's talk about Hasta for a moment. We've talked about that the last couple of weeks. Hasta on one level is also about having to endure and having to wait. But at the same time, you're doing some work for the next cycle of your life that's coming into being. For those of you who are Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo, a lot of these changes are just naturally going to happen of their own accord. It's like you're going to be kind of swept away in a different manner. You might as well go along with the tide and not resist it. For those of you who are the water signs, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, what you're going to find is that you're stabilizing some things in your life, because it's going to fall in the cadent houses, the 2nd, the 6th, and the 10th. So having to do some hard work towards your career, stabilization of finances, but the lunar eclipse is working in your favor for that. Air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, the 3rd, the 7th, and 11th, what are known as the Kama houses, the desire houses. Your associations, your relationships, how you're planning your future, and how you're putting the energy towards that. And what about you earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn? Freeing yourself from one cycle of your life and all the difficulties that you don't want to have around anymore, and beginning to make some changes towards the next cycle of your life. That's pretty much how this lunar eclipse and the Grand Trine is going to affect all of you. I included all of that information in there because, yes, the Grand Trine is, for all intents and purposes, part of this. But there's a certain energy that says duration, having to wait, having to be patient rather than trying to push too hard for something. Let the universe cooperate with you. or more succinctly put, you need to cooperate with the universe. But hey, we all have egotistical minds, so we think the universe needs to cooperate with us. But really, it's vice versa. You need to cooperate with the universe. Don't push too hard. A lot is behind you. You have a lot to help you with this lunar eclipse energy. Eclipses in general are when either the moon or the sun is in close, or both are in close, well, actually it would have to be both, I should say. Both the moon and the sun are in close proximity to one of the nodes, the north or the south node, during a new moon, that's a solar eclipse, or a full moon, that's a lunar eclipse. So basically you've got this lunar eclipse happening in close proximity to the south node. Moving from the past towards the future, letting go of one phase of your life, moving on towards the next one. And whenever that eclipse happens, so things are going to feel a little uneasy for a while, because when the moon is eclipsed, we tend to feel insecure. We have a hard time connecting to our soul, but ultimately it ends up working to our benefit in the long run, because we temporarily disconnect in order to reconnect. Stay centered for the next day. Do a lot of meditating. That's always good to do during lunar eclipse periods. But most importantly, just cooperate with what's happening. Don't resist the changes that are wanting to come into being, right? There's a lot of strength that's building. The butterfly is getting ready to burst free of their cocoon, but you need to be patient for just a little while longer if things are a little bit uneasy and unsettled in your life. If you'd like to know more about how this eclipse cycle, the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse, affects you personally, please consider one of my vast range of astrological services. You'll notice a link to it in the upper corner of the screen. In addition, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube page already, you might consider doing so. In that manner, you can receive regular updates whenever there's a new moon or a full moon video. I do weekly video forecasts. And I also do once a month monthly video horoscopes, and there's the occasional Vedic astrology class, all available for free through my YouTube page. So why not subscribe? That's going to do it for your full moon and lunar eclipse video. Until next time, please do take very